So Tim Berners-Lee speaking to our home editor Mark Easton. Well, let's talk to the French ambassador to the UK, Sylvie Bermann. Thank you very much for joining us. We're marking the fall of communism, 25 years since the fall of communism. Traditionally, the thoughts are that democracy has won, but when it comes to this study, it seems that that's not really the case. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think, of course, France is a full-fledged democracy and can even be a model. I think the study is very British-oriented, if I may say so. Of course, Britain is a real democracy, but the primary law, of course, derives from the Parliament. It's not our case because we have an elected president who is the source of, who has powers, of course. And there is a possibility for our judges, for constitutional courts, to judge or even modify the laws passed by the Parliament.
But what this report is suggesting is that France is a flawed democracy. Why would it be described like that?
Well, it's not considered as a flawed democracy this year. It may have been the case last year, but now it's a full-functioning democracy.
Explain what is the difference from last year to this year, just for our viewers.
Well, it's not our ranking. I mean, it has been made by a British association, or I don't know. And that's what I explained before. It's because of the role of the Parliament, and we don't have the same role for our Parliament. But it doesn't mean it is not a democracy.
But when we look at, say, the trends now of those smaller parties that show extremist views coming into the mainstream, I'm obviously thinking of Le Front National. When you see those parties coming into the mainstream, doesn't that make you concerned and make you feel that maybe democracy hasn't worked in the pure context of the word?
You know what Winston Churchill has said about democracy is the worst form of government except all the others. And I think that's true because democracy can always improve, and that's what we're trying to do. And I think there are populist parties also because of reaction to globalization, and of course in France also because of the economic crisis and unemployment. So you have a lot of people who are unsatisfied, but they have to respect the laws anyway. And we have to work for more integration of people, for not more democracy, but more transparency, and including in the part of our politicians or our MPs.
Well, we saw the events at Charlie Hebdo and the subsequent events, the tragedy that hit Paris and France. It was very devastating for your country. Arguably, that was a reaction to perhaps democracy not working to its best.
That was devastating, as you said, but it was the reaction was very encouraging also because we had a huge rally, unity rally, and a lot of people demonstrating, marching together in order to defend democracy. And we had also the participation of a lot of heads of state and government. And afterwards, our government decided to take some measures, security measures, of course, in order to protect our people, but also some other measures, education and so on. So we think the reaction has been very encouraging for democracy.
But when you see these parties that really demonstrate the extremes, say we've got Greece, Syriza coming up on the left, and obviously the French National Front, we've got parties that show that weren't in the mainstream, say in Britain as well. When these are coming through, it does have a question mark over whether people are feeling happy and content with the usual democratic process, their usual ability to vote.
I think the problem is not democracy. The problem is also the evolution of the world, and people are not prepared to it, and there are economic difficulties, and so we have to react to it.
It's been absolutely fascinating to speak to you, French Ambassador to the UK, Sylvie Bermann. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts, some very big thoughts there. We have lots more on Democracy Day throughout the BBC here on BBC World News. You can join us and, of course, also have your say on our Facebook page. And don't forget, you can also get in touch with me on Twitter. I'm at Kasia Madeira. It'd be really good to hear your thoughts on what we're doing here with Democracy Day.